as a kid, I was in a Christian school, and in the Bible it says when you are punched, basically, to turn the other cheek. And as a very angry kid at the time, I thought, well, that is. Why would I do that? That sounds absolutely stupid. Now, as I grew up, I definitely didn't go by this, not one bit. And I'm telling you now, if I got hit, I'd come back 2 times harder. And I did this a lot in my life. I got into a lot of fights, but not only just fights, but in general, right? If an insult was hurled at me, it would be hurled back. And it was always me trying to hit twice as hard as the person that hit me. Nowadays I try to go by turning the other cheek. And it is hard sometimes to do, but I find that it has more benefits than hitting twice back, and I feel like if I could rewind back time and change my understanding of this turn the other cheek situation, I would have done it, and I wouldn't have hit twice as hard, because I feel like it's always granted me the better outcome. If I weighed up all the times I hit back and all the times I didn't, even though not hitting back is sometimes really hard, it's always rewarded the best outcome. Why do I bring this up? Well, I was thinking of this saying. Now, I don't remember quite how it goes, but long story short, it's imagine like a pendulum, right? And it sits in the middle, and if you move it a little bit to the right and let go, it'll swing a little bit to the left, and then it will come a little bit less, and a little bit less, and it will sit back down in the middle after some time. If you raise it all the way up to the right, it will come all the way up to the left, and then so on and so forth until it rests in the middle. Again, I don't know what the saying was, but it goes along the lines of whatever you give it, it's going to give it back, right? And whatever you do, you're going to get the same reaction back, right? And that is not always true. Again, you could have, let's say you punch someone that turns the other cheek, they're not giving you that back, right? But for the most part, you're going to get what you get, right? If you're in an argument and someone raises their voice, you're going to raise your voice. If then someone swings a punch, that person's going to swing a punch. Okay, then if that person's, gets a gun and points at your head, you're going to get a gun pointed at your head. You know what I mean? It escalates and it goes up, and the pendulum swings back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And it's kind of how I feel with the world at this point. There's a lot of politics, which is mainly what I'm thinking about. A lot of politics that are swinging back and forth on this pendulum, and it's really dangerous, right? Because I feel like the pendulum is all the way up to the right now, and it's about to be let go. And when it swings over here and it hits the middle, on the left or whatever, we're not talking politics here, we're just talking, directions here. On the left, if they react, they can then pull it back up and swing it back, right? But they have to go from this point. They cannot go from a little bit or this. Whatever this is, it's only going to stop either in the middle or up here and swing back. And I feel like the pendulum's being held right now, like this. And it is about to be swung. And what I want from the people on this side is to not react. To just sort of leave it be neutral. If anything, put a wall right here so it doesn't even have the chance to swing up here. Because I fear that if we allow it to swing over to here, I think a lot of anger, a lot of hate, and mostly a lot of divide will happen. I think about the talk of immigration in United Kingdom right now, and it is swinging so heavily back and forth that it really upsets me. I feel like every time it swings, it just gains a bit more momentum, a bit more every time, and it gets a bit more crazy on both sides. And it's like, guys, let's calm down. Let's simmer it down. Let's take a break and really have a proper conversation. because I feel like it just gets too crazy on this side and it gets too crazy on this side, and we just need to chill out. Not to mean that to not take problems seriously, but I feel like there's a lot of, Andrew Tate, right? Most of what he said is a bunch of malarkey, right? But there are things that he says, and you go, okay, yeah, I can get behind that. I can get behind that. And I feel like that's kind of like the world right now, where someone will say something, something sensible, eat your 5 a day, get out, exercise. And then they'll throw a mad curveball of like, yeah, but this whole group of people are horrible people. Whoa, 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 whoa. Chill out, like we can't just be throwing these mad curveballs. You can't just say a couple right things or a couple things that, majority of people will agree upon and then just throw a curveball in there. And then I think the problem is we like to go by people, right? Is that person good or bad? And that's not really what you should do. It's what that person does, the things they say, is it good or bad? And then section them off, right? Okay, that's a good thing. Okay, that's a bad thing. Okay, well, let's not follow what he does there, and maybe we'll follow him what he does there. We need to decipher not everyone is just good or just bad or whatnot. They are a combination of things, and you need to sit there and decipher not if you're going to support them, but what are you going to support of what they say, and what you're not going to support of what they say, right? I think I don't genuinely like what Andrew Tate has to say a lot of times, but there are times where he does say something and I go, okay, yeah, I get him, that makes sense, that is a good message to be put across. May I add, rarely, but he does have some good things to say. And so then putting him in the bin of like, I'm never going to follow anything he says, it's all stupid, is kind of, I think, ignorant. Is that, yeah, I think that's the word, ignorant, where you can't just gather up, right? There are so many good people in this world and so many bad people, but they're not good and bad. They're a combination of both, right? It's just, there are certain, like if you, there's a YouTube video of like all these people that have done so many good things, right, in the world, like proper top tier, them, and basically he goes, this guy makes this YouTube video, he goes through all of these good people and he talks about all the worst things they've ever done, and you're like, whoa, that's kind of crazy. But does that mean that we don't follow what the good things they say? Bringing it back to politics anyway, I feel like a lot of people right now on both sides are having a lot of some sensible things to say, and it makes sense, and it's just upsetting that a conversation can't actually come about because these curveballs get thrown in, these crazy things that get thrown in from both sides, and it's like, guys, can we take those away and actually just have a proper conversation of what is actually happening, with facts, and not trying to just discredit or run down the person you're talking with. It's not productive. It's not, and it never will be. It never has been. Nothing gets solved by discrediting the person you're debating with, or saying things about them that are just like horrible. There's no need for it. I see it especially in America, where a president, people that support a president, whoever it is, right? Joe Biden, Donald Trump, Obama, whoever supports them, like, for some reason, it's like they support every single which way. That's crazy to me. No matter those three presidents I said, right? They're the most, in my lifetime, those are the three presidents that have been rocking around, right, in America. And out of all three of them, how many of them have got things wrong? Newsflash, all of them. They've all got things wrong and done bad things, right? Whether you want to believe it or not, right? It's human. That is in their genes. They're going to mess up. They're going to do bad things, right? and all three of them have messed up. But for me, it's so weird to see someone support someone wholeheartedly, everything you do, the good and the bad. That makes no sense to me. You can call out when someone does something wrong or you don't quite agree with their standpoint. You don't need to, that is kind of you still supporting them in a way, because you're standing on the beliefs that you have, right? And so it just blows my mind, people supporting people even when they've done things that are bad, or supporting people in their bad decisions. That's probably better. Yeah, supporting someone within their bad decisions, that blows my mind, and we don't need to. Nowhere do we need to support people with their good and their bad decisions. I've never really understood where I stand on politics, because I feel like I'm here 1 minute and then I'm here and I'm here, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. I'm just like jumping around, and it's not that I'm indecisive, but it feels like the politics is so scattered around. It's like, yeah, well, I agree with that. Yeah, I'll take that. Oh, and I agree with you over here. And oh, yeah, that'd be a bit extreme. Turn it down. Okay, yeah, I agree. It's like I'm picking all these things, and I'm like, hold up, this is. You have your left and your right, or conservatives, and I don't know, honestly, politic terms, no clue. But it's like you have to pick a group, and within that group, there are things you're going to disagree with. Well, then state that you don't you disagree with those things. Don't just support because the majority you agree with 8% of it. Oh, let's just support the other 20% I don't like. Huh? That makes no sense. I don't get how you can have parties that like kind of agree upon one thing and then they kind of run with it. It kind of blows my mind. Yeah. Okay. I think I'm gonna end it here. Oh my gosh. I didn't realize how long it was. Okay. I'm gonna end it here before I get into a repetitive circle. But for my lesson for you today is to turn the other cheek. Or just at the bare minimum, don't give the energy back in the same way. Try and give that energy back in a more nicer, constructive, and mature way.